Hi, this video is about a YouTube video I just watched earlier this morning by Black Pigeon Speaks. It's a good YouTuber. He's quite similar to Sargon of Akkad, Red Pill Shark. They do good production, lots of time spent putting together really informative alternative media, basically. This one is listed as the failure of multiculturalism, and I'll share it in the description. This one, so basically, this is to expose the failures of it, as in the title. He goes into a lot of scientific studies that have been carried out, universities in the Western world, into this subject. I'm going to read from notes here. The University in Cologne, which ironically had suffered quite massively with enrichment from wonderful migrants that have come through and decided to do a lot of raping. In the Netherlands, Oxford University, and at Harvard University, a guy called Robert Putnam, who is a real big, pretty much Marxist, globalist, however term you want to put to it. And he, I believe, went in to do this study feeling that it was going to prove that diversity works. And unfortunately, at least he was honest enough to do a proper study, and it exposed it as a massive failure. He mentions, Black Pigeon mentions that it took him quite a long time to publish this work. As he puts it, he was choking on a rather big red pill. So basically, it goes into showing that ethnocentralism, which is pretty much like the nationalist, the populist view, works consistently. It works in humans, but it also works in animal kingdom and also the plant life. You'd have to go in to watch his video. I'm not going to try to explain it all because a lot of it goes over my head. It then goes on to talk about around the world where multiculturalism and diversity is being promoted and forced upon largely unwilling people. It's based on emotion and ideology, whereas ethnocentralism is based on common sense, logic, empirical data. It goes on to show where ethnocentralism will always thrive over individualists. It does mention a couple of examples, countries or areas where the diversity has sort of worked. It's not quite the same diversity as we're experiencing now, but in countries like Switzerland, Belgium, and in Quebec in Canada, they kind of built up these little micro states where people from different cultures have got their own areas, but they're kind of in one country and they're allowed to have their own customs and ways. But you got to remember is they're still based on Europeans, culturally Christian people. So yeah, they might have some differences, different languages, some different customs and stuff. Still similar brand, in my opinion. I'd say my thoughts from this, the reason why I'm doing this video is based because it's really sad. If you go back just a few years ago, I probably, without really thinking about it too much, I probably was a multiculturalist. I look forward to the day where everyone will just get on, like even let's say, or if we're all just one race, like all mixed race, then, we'd all get on. But I was just, I suppose, a bit ignorant. I hope that, and it does mention this, I hope that it could possibly work way in the future. And I'm talking about after my yet to be born or conceived grandchildren die. Sort of Star Trek-ish, when you've got everyone, Earth just seems to be one big city where everyone just can get on. And also, in order for it to work, the third world needs to change. It needs to stop being so backward, get some proper secular education, abandon superstition and religion, and then they will naturally grow. They'll develop, and of course, the first world can help the third world to achieve that if we can, get rid of the greedy um, multinational industries that just want to basically use them as cheap labour. But that's potentially in the future multicultural could work. Um, Going back into his video, Black Pigeon Speaks, he talks about two areas in Europe that have very different outcomes after the fall of the Soviet Empire. They were all in the Soviet Empire. So you got the Yugoslavia, which was put together, several Croatia, Serbia, Montenegro, a few different places, that were forced to become one country where they had very, very different cultures, different religions. And then you compare that to, say, Poland, Hungary, Czech Republic, where when the Soviet Union collapsed, when communism ended in Europe as it was then, those countries, they're fine because they remained Poland, they remained Hungary, and they remained Czech Republic. They weren't manufactured countries. They'd naturally formed. And that's it really. I am really waffling now, so it's quite a long video compared to my usual ones. I'll put a link. Please check it out, Black Pigeon Speaks, and he's done many other really good ones. And if you like this video, for what it's worth, give us a thumbs up and subscribe maybe. Thank you very much.